see that sheen? See that shine on the camera? I don't know if it's really coming through. It's summer in New York, apparently. Just decided to be 80 degrees. And I'm moving in a few days, so the AC's not quite working. So we are hotboxing this. Not with anything nefarious. Just with me and a couple of computers. Because nothing good. Yeah, just a dude and a couple of computers and a couple of LED lights in the background and a nice room. Yeah, but we are moving, so that's going to be cool. You know, get used to this background. If you hadn't heard that things were about to change, I realize that abrupt change can be a problem for people. So just soak this in, you know, really appreciate the layout, the Z, the posters, you know, whatever else. Like, it's all going to change. But it's going to change for the better. Honestly, I'm going to have room to like back my chair all the way up without there being a couch there. It's going to be amazing. What we're talking about today has absolutely nothing to do with that, though. We're talking about something that I believe makes sports what it is. I believe makes sports particularly special because there are, no matter how many analytics you can conjure, no matter how many numbers you can put on a screen, there are plays in sports that will never be calculable, right? And that is what separates players that are just winners from guys that could never quite win it. Obviously, luck plays a factor, but there are guys that just have a habit of being able to contribute on winning teams, right? And those types of players are the ones that are hardest to scout in the modern era because analytically speaking, there are certain little things that you can do, whether it be off the ball or psychologically or movement-wise, that's not going to be calculated or respected in the right way by the analytics the way they're currently set up that can just help your team win games. And one of those people is finally getting the respect that they deserve. Ben White at Arsenal. Ben White went viral over the weekend, essentially, for messing with Vicario, Tottenham's goalkeeper, on two different goal-scoring plays. Tottenham played a pretty darn good game, but it lost to Arsenal 3-2 because Arsenal scored on two different corner kicks. And while Ben White was not the goal scorer or the assister on either of those corner kicks, he did partake in a serious amount of dark arts. And this has always been what Ben White engages in, something that happens. By the way, I am somebody that grew up playing as a goalkeeper. I played through the age of 18, went to the state championship in the state of Florida, and so on and so forth. This is the sort of stuff Ben White is doing happens all the time. I'll give you the first example. On the opening goal, I've got it right here. On the opening goal for Arsenal against Tottenham, Ben White is hanging out next to Vicario. As a goalkeeper, this is something that happens all the time. And I'm going to be honest, if you're a team taking a set piece, you need to do this more, right? Because goalkeepers dealing with corners and set pieces in general, it is a nightmare, right? There are so many variables, so much traffic, and you will be, you are in the spotlight. It is is one of the most important moments in the game as a goalkeeper. And when you've got somebody in your airspace, somebody in your business, in front of you, behind you, just restricting their movement with their existence, right? It makes life harder. But Ben White decided to do something as well. As Vicario is counting all of his chickens before they hatch here, right? He's looking around to make sure that everything's in a row, every player's where they're expected to be, his defense is in order. Well, Ben White takes it upon himself to essentially just distract Vicario. Watch what he does here. So he reaches for Vicario's glove as if to try and undo it. Now, it looks like Vicario's glove straps are actually underneath his sleeves. Good, solid move. I usually put my sleeves under my goalkeeper glove straps, so I would have actually been much more easily victimized here by Ben White. But he just tries to fiddle with his glove, and he just, that split second, right, snapping Vicario out of himself, getting ready. And then Ben White is still just right behind him. I mean, he's keeping him company. You know he's going to make a move once the ball is played as well. And Vicario knows he's there. And now you've just taken his mind out of the game. Now, the vast majority of the time, is it going to matter? No. But everything in life, right, in sports is no exception, is about combining a bunch of good little things together to make one major good thing, right? Any goal in soccer or football is the combination of a million little things that you did right. And this is just one of those million little things, or 1,000 or 100 little things that you need to do right in order to put the ball in the back of the net. We have no idea, right? I don't think Vicario himself could tell you if him just kind of pulling on the glove strap a little bit, if that really actually made a difference in this goal or not. But it could have. right? If he doesn't do this, Vicario's going to be perfectly situated, or at least situated as much as he would like to be for the oncoming corner. This snapped him out of it just for a second, letting him know he's there, trying to get into his head. These are the little things that can help combine together to create big, massive moments. And I just want to say, I love this. I'm a goalkeeper. I was always on the receiving end of this. I've had randoms too. I've had people grab my ass before. I've been called all sorts of names in English and Spanish. I've been in a manwich before, right? Just right before a corner. Like, people do all sorts of things. They walk up to you and just do that. Like, they're trying to do anything to put you off, get in your way, prevent you from being able to figure out what's happening, right? In the old school version is to just physically be in the way, but this is some Dennis Rodman NBA type nonsense, right? If you ever watched The Last Dance, this is sort of just pestering in any way possible to take him out of the game. And even though I went through all of that, I always loved it. I always thought it was funny, and I know what they're doing. Right? You can't get too carried away. You know that they're involved in it, but I think Tottenham makes a mistake here, right? Because while this is definitely something you should be doing, what you will notice on both of the instances we're going to look at is that Ben White is alone. There's nobody keeping him company. Now, I understand the thought process from Tottenham's defense here, right? You don't want to like, Ben White's not actually a threat to touch the ball. You don't want to waste a defender on him. Respectfully, Ben White is a threat in this situation because he is unimpeded in Vicario's airspace. And as long as Ben White is not like legitimately obliterating Vicario, refs let this go. You know why? Because on frigging corners, there's a million other things to be watching. Speaking of a million other things, right? They're looking at they're making sure the ball's in the corner in the right way. You've got literally every player on the field almost is in one place, tugging and grabbing and running into each other, and you're just not really looking at the goalkeeper. Even if you're VAR, you only have, a minute to make the decision about whether you even want to page it down to the referee in an era where VAR intervention is certainly frowned upon. You're looking for chaos. Set pieces, particularly the way Arsenal do them with the in-swinging corners, are designed to create chaos. And the most important person when it comes to defending a set piece is the goalkeeper. Because if the ball is played too close to them, they can end it. They don't need to head the ball away. They can freaking catch the ball. And even if you lose, the goalkeeper can still be in a good position to try and save it. And Ben White's job is not to touch the ball. His job is to disrupt the goalkeeper and to be in the way of the goalkeeper. And if I'm a goalkeeper in this situation, I need Tottenham to have a man with Ben White, specifically to move him out of the way, right? Because Vicario's got other things to worry about, right? The Tottenham player, the defender in this instance, that would be trying to hassle and harry Ben White away, right, evens the playing field, right? Because instead of Ben White just literally being able to sit there and pick on Vicario like a big brother standing in the mouth of the goal, right, he's got to worry about a defender who is trying to essentially box him out away from the goalkeeper, right? And they're jostling the way everybody else in a set piece is jostling. So this little goalkeeper gimmick that contributed to it. But then the third goal for Arsenal, another corner, and this is where Ben White gets more involved. And this is why if you're Tottenham, you need to have somebody with Ben White. Because the first goal, don't know if Vicario is going to be able to make too much of a play, and you'll never be able to identify exactly what kind of effect him tugging at the glove had. I just love it anyways. I love those little parts of the game. This is kind of more straightforward glue guy stuff. This is the third goal, and this is what Ben White does. So the ball's being delivered, and right as it's being delivered, Ben White does this. He just posts up on Vicario, right? And I'm gonna be completely honest. If you're a VAR official looking at that and you call a foul, I think you're a psycho. I really do, right? I hit this chair harder every single day. But what that contact does is it throws Vicario off. It throws off his footwork, man. It throws off his footwork. Right? He's getting set. He's on his toes. He's ready to explode out and contest the ball if he feels like he can, or get himself into a good saving position, right? Be active and try and anticipate what angle the ball is going to be coming off. But instead, Ben White gets right into his thighs and just kind of sits on him, knocks him back off of his toes, and the ball ends up going right by Vicario. I mean, you watch it from this angle. Ben White makes contact right there. Vicario can't get his feet back, and the ball goes kind of right over his right shoulder. If Ben White doesn't do that, this ball is saved. Vicario's a very good goalkeeper. He's got great reactions. He's saving that. He'll be 2 steps further forward, hands up in the air. He's anticipating a high ball in a contested header situation like that. He's popping it over the bar. This goal is really, I mean, it's an excellent delivery. It was Declan Rice that contributed this third goal. It's a good, sharp header, good velocity, obviously. Right? I sound like a freaking coach talking about this one, right? But Ben White is integral to this goal. The little glove thing, that's just for fun, and we're just, trying to compile as many good things as possible. This is big time. And I can't believe Tottenham got outflanked by this. Because playing high school soccer in Florida, we knew you needed a defender to prevent this from happening. Now, I love the fact that in the modern game, this stuff is still able to happen as well. If I was a Tottenham fan, obviously I'd be feeling a little salty, right? I think if a ref called this foul and I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be feeling really salty, right? But I think the game is better when this sort of stuff is allowed to exist. I do. Now, if he knocks Vicario over, it's a foul, right? That's not what I'm saying. I want you to listen to the words that I'm saying because I can hear just one or two of you, right? Coming back on stream. There's going to be someone. But this, I mean, let's look at the contact again, right? Let's really look at the contact. You're a VAR official in the booth, then you see Ben White just kind of lean on him, right? I mean, there's not a lot of force in that, but Vicario's on his toes, so he stumbles back off of it. He just basically sits on him, just a little butt bump. Now, this isn't even a basketball box out, right? It's gorgeous. This is gorgeous from Ben White. It's very well drawn up by Arsenal, and Tottenham have just been outdone here. Look, I like Ange. He got outflanked here. Completely outflanked. I don't know what their set piece department's doing. I don't know what their video review department is doing. Fool me once, twice on you. Fool me twice. Fool me. Wait. Fool what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? This can't happen to Tottenham again. And if you are playing against Arsenal, you have to know that they are going to employ these dark arts on corners. And I know the analytics might say that you want to have that one extra defender out there. Right, but the analytics aren't accounting for something that Vicario might have been able to save if he didn't just get bumped off of his toes. Like, this is just simple footballing one-on-one, well, like 101, and I love the fact that it's happening in the Prem. I love it. I love it. Love it. There's one other aside here. I think Vicario's way too soft about this. If you're Vicario, you're the goalkeeper. I always liked being the goalkeeper because you can just bowl people over as long as you're getting to the ball. Right? He's got, it's his right to go for the ball in that situation. You can really, honestly, if you're Vicario, you can hit Ben White a lot harder than he can hit you in this situation without it getting called a penalty. Right? You're able to come in flying for the ball, your knee up in the air like freaking Spartacus about to go for the kick of the century. Right? You are able to clear people out. And as a goalkeeper, that's what you're taught to do. But I feel like you get to this point in the Premier League and perhaps you get out of being used to having to deal with this sort of simple backyard, schoolyard tactic. And that's why it worked. Vicario didn't see it coming. He got caught off guard by it. He wasn't nearly physical enough, and his team didn't help him at all. And Ben White helped create a goal by not actually doing any, soccer or football thing, which is cool. But don't let anyone ever tell you that sports can always be distilled down to a number. Analytics help a lot, and they should be trusted, but there is always just that little bit that's not calculated. You know what I'm saying?